Spend all your time waiting for that second chance, for a break that would make it okay. There's always some reason to feel not good enough, and it's hard at the end of the day. I need some distraction, oh beautiful release. Memories seep from my veins, let me be empty, oh and weightless, and maybe I'll find some peace tonight. In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from the dark, cold hotel room. In the endlessness that you feel, you pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here. Hey everybody, won't you be an angel to these animals? But if you want to support the show, you can click the link and become a Patreon supporter. And Patreon supporters get, for $5 a month, you get this cartoon by Michael Lyons. And for $10 a month, you can get this, like, snow on skin. And it's a NanaBOOZHOO coffee table book. And, otherwise, leave us a tip on PayPal. Yeah. All right. In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this dark, cold hotel room, and the endlessness that you feel. You're pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here.
Oh,
that was beautiful.
yeah.
And by the way, I'm not really Sarah McLachlan. Whatever her name was.
No, you're way better than Sarah McLachlan.
Ah, get out of here.
Hey, BOOZHOO. What's up? What's up, my party people? What's up, Jessica Wabooz? Sweetie,
Jessica Waboo is first in line.
you know what that means?
Gold star.
That's right. Gold star for Jessica Wabooz. And Grassroots Indians. Oh, he's right on her heels.
Silver star for grassroots.
BOOZHOO, Grassroots Indians. And Always Learning's here. Hey, BOOZHOO, Always Learning. And Always Learning's in third.
Absolutely nothing for Always Learning.
And you win absolutely nothing. Third place is first loser, all right? No. Who else is here? I guess it's just us. What's up? Just us. Justice.
Yeah.
No justice, no peace. That's what I say when I'm marching with the Antifa.
Did you join Antifa?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a slave to peer pressure.
Why'd you join Antifa?
I wanted to fit in. So I thought I'd, tear down a statue of Columbus. I don't know. Maybe throw some bricks through a window. I don't know. I wanted to be part of the crowd, sweetie.
Well, you're going to get into trouble.
I know. But whatever. No justice, no peace. No fascist USA. Wait, how'd that go?
No KKK, no fascist USA.
La la, do, bum ba. What's going on? But we're not talking about that today. What we're talking about is how Michael can't get it together to fix stuff before the show. What's the matter with you? It's way early. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lyons. Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. Yeah. Anima e gisha good, Niji. Yep, that's what they say. Prayer day. Prayer day. Anima e gisha good. Welcome back to prayer day. A day of prayer. A day of quiet contemplation and communion and communication. Is that what communion means? To communicate?
I think so. To commune, to kind of, I don't know.
What is prayer? What is anima e? You talking to God? You talking to your creator? You talking to yourself? Who knows? What does science say about prayer?
That there is no God and you're wasting your time?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Thanks, Neil deGrasse Tyson. How many sexual assault allegations are against that guy now?
I think it's up to 3.
3? 3 different women have accused that guy of rape? Why do we listen to him?
Because the TV tells us to.
Oh, yeah. The TV. Or whatever. The smart TV. Anima e gisha good, you guys. Happy Sunday. And we're starting early, so we're not so rushed before we go to church. Before we haul our butts into the old church. Our humble little reservation church. You know. Like if Jesus had been born in Cass Lake, they would have brought him to our church, married to the church, and she'd be like, do you have a manger? That would be a step up. I'd rather sleep in a barn tonight than in this church is too humble.
No, it's not.
No, I'm kidding. It's just a little church. But that's what I like about it. It's not all fancy. It's not like when you go into like the Vatican or something. Hi, welcome. Why don't you have a nice prayer here in this gold-lined room? Oh, look at those paintings up there. Michelangelo himself painted the ceiling. So, yeah. The meek shall inherit the earth. Well, okay. Will the meek be moving into this extravagant building? I don't know. But anyway. Jessica says, remember the City of Angels soundtrack? Yeah, there's that one great song. I mean, that was on there too. She says, I never saw the movie, but it was that song that the Goo Goo Dolls, and they played the music videos all the time. Yeah, the soundtrack is just great. I don't think I saw the... Is the City of Angels based on that German movie about the angels who... what was it called? Like Wings of something. There was a German movie once where there were angels who walked the earth and they couldn't do anything, but they could hear everybody's thoughts. So they would just fly around and sit next to a guy who was about to like jump off a building and kill himself. And they'd be like, I sure wish you wouldn't do that, but I can't talk to you and you can't talk to me and you don't know I'm here. So they would just witness all this horrible stuff. And then I think one of the angels fell in love with a chick. Yeah, now that I think about that movie, it's basically the story of fallen angels. The Nephilim. All right, kids. Here's a little Bible talk. And a conspiracy theory. 2 for 1 this morning.
All right.
So, in the Bible, you all remember David and Goliath. This is the story of David and Goliath. Back in the days of the Bible grandfathers, apparently there was a boy named David who would later grow up to be a corrupt king and, snag one of his soldiers' wives and do just all kinds of horrible stuff. But before that, he was a boy. And one day he was posing for Michelangelo, who was doing a sculpture of him. And Michelangelo was like, David, next time do you think you could put on some shorts? Leave a little something for the imagination? But he was like, no, man, I'm in my birthday suit. But what happens? Big old giant. Not Paul Bunyan. This giant's name was Goliath, a real giant. And you know it's a real giant because it's not like they start the story once upon a time, you know. They just talk about it like, yeah, obviously there were giants that walked around. And so the famous story goes that a boy named David showed up to a sword fight with a rock in a sling. And he was like, okay. So Goliath comes around the corner and he's all, fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of a Jew. And was David Jewish? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, of course he was. Yeah. So he's like, hey, you know, on guard. And they start to fight. But David doesn't have a sword. And so he prays to God. He goes, oh, please, Lord. Please, God, help me. And God's like, yeah, wait, you're afraid of a sword? I'm your Lord God. Just sling a rock at him. I'll do the rest. And so David grabs his rock and a sling and he starts spinning it. He's like, oh, yeah? Say hello to my little friend. And he whips the rock at Goliath. Boonk. Knocks him right in the head. Dead. Just dead. Goliath just falls over and it's like a tree falling in the forest. I think I even heard somebody say, timber! And Goliath just falls dead. And so David climbs up on top of him there. Oh, and Goliath, by the way, is really big. I should have grabbed that picture that Missy sent.
Oh, this of the giant skeletons?
Yeah. Again, we didn't prepare. And he grabs old Goliath's sword out of his hand and he cuts his head right off, picks up Goliath's head and he says, hey, heads up. And he just throws the head into the audience and they're all like, ah, gross. And they run away. And this is the story, more or less, of David and Goliath. So that's a Bible story, right? Now, Bible believers, if you really, stand by what you say. You believe in the Bible, you believe in giants, okay? I never read it, but apparently people who read the Bible tell me, yeah, you know that the giants, they were the children of the fallen angels. So apparently like a third of the angels left heaven with Satan. And they fell in love with human women. And somehow, what's the word I'm looking for? Made babies with them. And those babies came out giants. And they walked the earth. And so there was a time, and who knows, did the flood kill off all the giants? Or, you see old photos once in a while, even really old videos in China and stuff of giants, alive giants. This isn't a joke. So the conspiracy theory is, yeah, guess what? Giants, just like in the Bible, there's evidence all over the world that human beings used to be big, or at least a lot of them were. There was a race of giants. And that's why when you walk into old buildings, cathedrals, the Vatican, wherever, your local courthouse, any place that's got 30-foot ceilings for some reason, in Minnesota, where the architect was like, let's see. Well, it's going to be cold most of the year, and we're going to have to heat this house. I know. Let's make a church with ceilings that go up, 4 stories or whatever. But the thing was, these giants, they built everything. And the giants, and apparently human beings in the old days, were not dumb. The conspiracy is, they've been trying to tell us, or they have told us, they've convinced the world that we are smarter now than we've ever been in the history of the world. We're so smart that we know exactly what happened before us. And we just kept getting smarter every generation, got better at technology. Look at your phone. And then somebody goes, how come we can't build a building like they used to in the 1800s? Why is it our new buildings can only last about 50 years before the roof, wears through with water damage? How come it's so hard to build a castle in the modern age? Why is it so expensive? How come nobody can carve marble anymore? Speaking of David, show me a modern artist who can carve marble at all, let alone, I've seen modern artists try to carve marble. It takes years to do the simplest thing. Marble's really hard. But David, do I have a picture of David? I'm sure we do, somewhere. Let me see. Okay, it's going to screw up my thing, but I had a picture of the statue of David that I'd like to pull up now. Because here's the conspiracy theory. Here are my downloads. It's a picture of George Floyd for some reason. And Michelle Obama. Where did I put the statue of David? Here we go. I had to crop off the dirty part. You got to crop off the dirty part. Yeah, nobody wants to see his pajogging. So, there we go. David, right? Killed a giant. And this is the main guy for Jews. They love King David. That's why they spent so much money to get a statue made of him. But this thing is a work of art, obviously. But I think it might be a work of an actual angel. I think my theory, this is my conspiracy theory, that the Bible probably backs up. Michelangelo was actually the angel Michael, the archangel Michael, who I know next to nothing about. But apparently, Michael is a good angel, and I think he's going to kill Satan. I think he's super tough. I don't know much about him. But what if he was walking the earth in human form? Can angels do that? You're asking me? I don't know. But this thing is so amazing. It's huge. It's made out of marble and it's, looks like flesh. What do we have now? Andy Warhol? I mean, come on. You don't even want to say his name in the same sentence as Michelangelo. So, this guy kills a giant. Now we have, and there's also, apparently, and I've seen many photos, you guys probably have too, of people, digging for something else, and they come across a graveyard. Bones of, oh no, these are the Native Americans of 10,000 years ago. Maybe not even that long ago is a thing. What do you mean? Well, here's a rabbit hole. Everybody assumes that Jesus lived 2,000 years ago because of the calendar. It's 2021, so I guess he was born 2021 years ago. Okay. Because why? The Roman calendar? But there's some evidence out there that there might have been some trickery about even what year it is. What if it was only 1,000 years ago that Jesus died? Or what if, let's throw out everything. If we can't trust the Freemasonic history books, and we can only trust the oral tradition and the photographic evidence and our own eyes, what if the old Bible days weren't that long ago? And we've been deceived to believe so long ago. You know how in the Bible when it said Jesus would come back? Well, it's been 2,000 years, you know. When are you going to believe that he lied about that? Maybe it wasn't 2,000. I don't know. But what if the Bible stories weren't that long ago? Like, let's say there were giants that walked around in what we think of as the 1700s or 1492. You know, all this weird mysteries around 1492 and Columbus and the globe. That was the year the globe got invented.
1492?
Mm-hmm. The first globe ever constructed was by a guy named Edward Globe, I believe.
No, it wasn't.
Nah, I don't know who made the first globe, but it was 1492. And people go, oh, isn't that a coincidence? When Columbus sailed the ocean blue, not to prove that the earth was round, because we knew that already. It's like, yeah, shut up. Do you believe everything the rapist Neil deGrasse Tyson tells you? You know? I've had it with these BOOZHOO crew people.
Quit picking on the BOOZHOO crew!
Well, they want to believe everything Neil deGrasse Tyson tells them. You know, oh no, he couldn't be a satanic Freemason. Well, I hate to burst your bubble, BOOZHOO crew. But your little darling.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Trying to square up David there. What am I talking about?
Yeah, no, you were eviscerating Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Eviscerating? Good word, sweetie.
Yeah.
Eviscerating. Today's Ojibwe word of the day. Eviscerate. What's that mean?
I think it means to tear apart verbally.
Yeah, eviscerate. You know who else is a pervert?
Elmo?
Yeah, Elmo. But not Neil deGrasse, what's the guy? Bill Nye, the science guy.
Yeah. Do you remember that show he had on HBO?
Yeah, sex junk. Ugh. All right, globe believers. If you somehow missed Bill Nye, the science guy's comeback a couple years ago, Google YouTube sex junk. It's a kid's show by Bill Nye, where he talks about the gender fluidity, and a lady comes out and does a rap about how she can choose what gender she wants to be and how her, I don't even like to say it, her private part has its own voice. It's just the worst. I don't even want to show a clip because it's so gross. But he's, that's your guy. NASA lovers. I guess I woke up a little less patient with the brainwashed.
I know, you got to be more compassionate. It's not like you didn't always believe in the globe before 5 years ago.
Yeah, no kidding. Here's the other thing, by the way, everybody. Don't get me wrong. I was the biggest space fan in the world. It's not like I was born not believing in a spinning ball and evolution and the Big Bang and Darwinism and Einstein. I even read the Einstein biography, which is so boring I could hardly remember anything about it. But, I act like, oh, you're so dumb if you believe mainstream science. I was like, yeah. Why do you think Ace Frehley was my favorite guitarist? Spaceman. What are these guys talking about? It's so much cheaper to use materials that don't last. Even the cost of lumber has gone way, way up. And the fast-growing trees they've developed for lumber aren't as strong as the trees that grow natural. Jessica's talking about why our modern homes and buildings suck compared to the old buildings. Yeah, economically, How do you... Somehow in the 1600s, it was cheaper for the pioneers to create a brick factory in the middle of the plains to put up all the cathedrals and the boarding schools and the colleges. That's the other thing, colleges. Nobody really has a record of when the colleges, the first buildings in the colleges, those old, anything, because here's what the story tells you too. It's Carnegie, Andrew Carnegie, whatever his name is, Carnegie. Apparently he was a super rich guy from what? Selling lumber. He found gold in the hills of California. But apparently Andrew Carnegie built just about every library and museum in America. Like, he's credited by the age 33 or something really cryptic to have donated the money to like 1,100 different buildings. Do you have a Carnegie Hall in your town? We do, in Bemidji. It's an old building that nobody has any use for, but it's built great. It's got Freemasonic stuff all over it. We used to have a Freemason lodge before they tore it down. There's some beautiful Masonic building that they go, oh, okay, we'll use this for an art museum. Oh, great. Yeah, that's just what Bemidji lumberjacks need. A museum. So they do. Because they can't explain how, okay, wait a second. So the pioneers came up to Bemidji and some point while they're trying not to die from the winters and starvation and Indian attacks, they bothered to build beautiful museums that would last 100 years so far, 200 years, whatever it's been. Okay, wait. So in the old days, actually, I think we had technology that we could build stuff out of bricks and marble and, the cathedrals, amazing bridges, tunnels, all this stuff. Everything that's older than the 1900s. But there was a time that I think we've been brainwashed and don't remember anymore. When there were airships, when people flew around in Zeppelins, what was it called? Blimps! Yeah. Where blimps flew back and forth from, Europe and America. That Columbus story is probably 100% bull crap. Doo-doo moo. Doo-doo moo. It's probably bull crap. I mean, I don't know what the real story is. I guess the final word on this is giants were real. And this has been the story. Oh, you're still talking about that? Yeah. Of David and Goliath. Oh, sweetie. Yeah, if you say so. The oldest surviving globe is from 1492. Yeah. Jessica says, I'm sure it's not the first globe that was made, though. People thought the earth was round for over 1,700 years prior to 1492. Yeah, that's what they tell you. That's what the liars who write the history books tell you. Number one, that's just not true. Maybe there was a, like a Copernicus or whatever. They give us these stories in science where there was like one guy who dared to say, no, did you know that the earth is not the center of the universe? We actually go around the sun. And everyone freaked out and the church locked him up. And he becomes like a martyr for science. Well, the thing is, if the story we're told is even true, you couldn't have known that the Earth was a globe until after you could get far enough away from the Earth to look at it. So maybe there were scientists who had a theory that we lived on a ball because they looked at the moon and assumed the moon was a ball. And then they said, oh, I wonder if we live on something that looks like the moon. I don't know. But the great deception happened when, after rocket technology, when they invented rockets, and when NASA was formed, it actually was NASA. Werner von Braun, SS Nazi scientist, best friend of Walt Disney, moves to America after World War II, and they send up rockets. Because even though they've been telling everybody, yep, it's 1492, they made a globe by taking a map and putting it over a ball. And everyone started saying, yeah, they know, they found out, we figured it out, we live in a spinning ball. You couldn't prove it until you could take a picture. So they shot up a rocket, and that's why the moon landing was so important to fake. Because apparently they hit a dome and they couldn't get out. But the story, so nobody could have believed in a ball until after the 1940s when they said that they took a picture. Actually, 1960s. Would have been the first photograph of the Earth from Apollo 11. But of course, even NASA will say, no, that's not a real photograph. That's a composite. There are no photos of the Earth. No one's ever taken a picture. They've taken pictures, they say, of other planets, but they don't have one just GoPro picture of the whole globe from outer space. NASA doesn't even pretend to lie that they do. They say, oh, no, we made one based on computer information. Yeah, right. Jessica says, wow, maybe I shouldn't move out of my 106-year-old house. I'm going to miss it for sure. Wow, a 106-year-old house. That's cool. Yeah, it's probably built better than the houses they have, in the suburbs. Let's see. Oh, what's this, mud fossil? Yeah, lots of cool stuff on Mud Fossil U. Yeah, the mud floods. Finally you gotta think about the whole dinosaur story. It's like, why did the bones not decay in your story that dinosaurs lived, choose whatever made up number. Oh, it's 10 million years ago. Oh, million? No, billion. 100,000? We don't know. No one remembers because it's a made up word. Yeah, apparently there was dinosaurs roamed the earth long before humans were here. That's a scientific fact. And here's a bunch of skeletons we found. Oh, really? Doesn't the human body decay after 100 years or something? Oh, no, these ones were preserved in, let's say a tar pit. Oh, okay. You dug up a tar pit, did you? Yep. Okay. I'm smelling BS. Oh, what's that? More science nonsense? Bunch of liars. Everyone is dependent on calling a professional now. Yeah. Nobody wants to think for themselves. What does a professional say? Let's decide for yourself. Well, science has determined. Have they? Our house still has the original beams in the basement. I'd have to check the papers, but it was built in 1845. Wow. I was learning it was in a house that was built in 1845. I wonder what kind of spirits are in that house. Yeah. I wonder how many people died in your house. Either way, real old. Yeah. I know there are mysteries in those old houses. I sometimes wonder if I start digging around. I mean, my house is just obviously it's a cheaply built, not that old house. I think it was built in the 50s. But I think it was even at the time it was built as a temporary shelter that they've just kind of kept together somehow. But I wonder, it's like if I dug down, like who dug up who made all the sewer systems in this town? Did they plan that out, or were they laying poop pipes and water? How does that work? Are there tunnels down there? In our town, little town in northern Minnesota, whose history suggests that white people got here not, kind of late in the game, in the history of America. But we have a college, like every town, scattered across the United States. All the colleges seem to be about the same age, if you look at the buildings. Older than we can record. The one place you're going to find in northern Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, anywhere, huge brick stone buildings with ivy growing off of them. Our town, or our college, has underground tunnels that connect the buildings. It's kind of a selling point. In the winter, you can just walk underground. Our kids don't even get cold. You go, wow, that's a lot of trouble. That's good planning in the earliest days of the formation of the town of Bemidji. Because as history teaches us, the Ojibwe, we only, the most permanent thing we built was a wigwam. Even our canoes are only good for one season. So they say. Who knows? Oh, my history teacher knows. He read a book. Yeah. Okay. But so we get these buildings that just, in a way, seem totally out of place. Why did they build a castle in Bemidji? But, well, the pioneers came here, and at some point in those earliest days of the French fur traders and the British, or whoever, the Norwegian, when they came here, they built colleges all over the state. And, down in St. Paul, they built Catholic cathedrals and just great architecture that would have cost millions of dollars. And then, Pa Ingalls came up and built a little mud hut in the prairie. Little house on the prairie, to be exact. And you go, what? Why does history make no sense anymore? Ugh, my education was so stupid. I'm dumber now than before I got educated. Because none of this is making any sense anymore. I was learning. A lot of houses in our town and neighboring towns have tunnels as well, supposedly used for underground railroad. What? Yeah, I know. Oh, the Underground Railroad. Were these guys just so good at building tunnels and buildings and bricklaying? How many millions of bricks, these tunnels? Yeah, so then they tell us another story. Well, the good white people would sometimes smuggling black people out of the South through a intricate series of underground tunnels. So the evil white people couldn't find them. What? That sounds impossible to believe. What are those tunnels really? Or is that just a hallway and there's a whole nother building down there? What if there's a whole cities underneath our feet that were covered up in mud after the Great Flood? Back to the Bible. I mean, we all go, yeah, once upon a time there was a flood. And then it all dried up and went away, and we think it happened so long ago. If it happened at all, it's almost like a fairy tale. But what if all this time it was like, no, the flood happened in 1650, you guys. Never mind everything you think you know about history. And I'm not saying it was 1650, but what if? That, does the Bible say we were really primitive during the flood? Or did they have buildings and streets and basements and ovens and flying ships and electricity and plumbing? And maybe it got so much water came down from the firmament that not only did it flood, I always pictured it just being like a pool of water, but maybe it got all the dirt so just the world sank into mud. Everything. Blah. Until just tips of the highest buildings were sticking out. And that's what we think are the churches. That's just a top of this ridiculously large building that keeps going down and down and down. Who knows? But my point is, they don't know. When I was growing up, every science book had that same picture of the Earth. And they say, well, you live on a mantle, and then there's the inner mantle, and then there's the outer core and the inner core and nickel, and inside is a ball of lava. And that's what happens when volcanoes, the little lava goes up through the cracks and blows through the... Okay. And earthquakes. Oh, that's the tectonic plates. They shift. Oh, really? Can you show me a picture of that? No. But we know what's in the middle of the earth because the deepest hole ever drilled in the whole world, how big it was?
Is that the one that's 8 miles?
Yeah. Deepest hole they've ever drilled was 8 miles down, like in Switzerland or Germany or somewhere. It wasn't here. But it's big. Maybe it's Russia. And it has a weird name too, like the hell hole or something. But they can only go down 8 miles, and then they hit something where nothing can penetrate it. All the drills just go dull. It's impossible to get through. They don't even know what it's made of. Just an impossibly hard thing 8 miles under our feet. Oh, I thought that was molten lava. It's like, well, that's our theory. It's like, well, shut up with your theory. Nobody knows. We've only gone down 8 miles. Well, you see, my scientists and I, we grabbed this rock, right? And we measured the radiation. And with our telescopes, we looked at molecules. You gonna buy that? Oh yeah, the molecules with gravity and the nuclei and the electron and proton that, circle the whatever, just like in the outer space. I guess that's all crap too.
Quantum physics?
Yeah. Quantum particles. Oh, string theory. It's just a bunch of nerds with their dumb theories hiding behind math. It's all pseudoscience. Okay. Here's the final word, kids. Science, unless it has a scientific experiment, and technology is not science. Science is disproving a belief through scientific method, through having a hypothesis, doing an experiment that's repeatable, and proving the truth. Water boils at this. Here's my experiment. That's science. Saying there's a dark matter and neutron stars that weigh trillions of tons, the size of a teaspoon, that the Earth has a molten center, and that there's no such thing as God or the devil or Satan running this everything and deceiving us. Where am I going with that?
I don't know.
Oh, science is pseudoscience. Space science. There's no experiments. That's why they call everything a theory. It's pseudoscience. That's wrong. you know. Spinning ball, gravity. Oh, yeah. But we've all been brainwashed. We're all under a spell. Because I remember when I started questioning all these things, you know, you have the kind of a defensive reaction. Hey, shut up. And that's part of the conditioning, the mind control. If you question science, it's like somebody just said something bad about your mom. You know, oh, they lied about that. How dare you? Neil deGrasse Tyson would not lie. Yes, he might rape, but he doesn't lie. You know. Anyway, here's a song. We better get rolling before I run out of time. And this is a song that I pulled up just for the show, sweetie. Oh, it's a White Earth song. I almost forgot. This is a song for everybody from the White Earth Indian Reservation. The sacred, speaking of the earth, White Earth refers to the white clay. It is the place with the abundance of white clay. That's what White Earth means. Aki is earth. Yeah, so we wrote this song. We hope you like it. Up next, the lovely and talented Natasha. Okay. Gawapa Biganika, Gawapa Biganika, Gawapa Biganika, Indojaba, yeah. Gawapa Biganika, Gawapa Biganika, Gawapa Biganika, Indojaba, Gawapa Biganika, Gawapa Biganika, Indojaba. Gawaba Biganikag, Nindunjaba. White Earth is where I'm from. Gawaba Biganikag, White Earth, or the place where there's an abundance of white clay. That's what they call White Earth. And this is our Ojibwe word of the day. What do you think, sweetie?
Oh, it's a
Should it be
great
a good
word.
Ojibwe word of the day?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So,
Gawapa Biganikag. Yeah. Good Ojibwe word of the Gawapa Biganikag, Nindunjaba. The place with an abundance of white clay earth is where I'm from. So yeah, I mean, it's such a mystery. I've been hearing a lot of this, rumors on the internet, rumors in the dark web, that hang on to your hats, everybody. Not only is Jesus coming back, but Lucifer's revealing himself. The truth is coming out. You know, the Freemasons, the Church of Satan, it's the same thing. The pyramid people, the Illuminati, they're all in on it together. Everybody, and it's the royal bloodlines. And, vampires. I don't know. It's a very interesting time to be alive. It's a very scary time in some ways, But let's see what happens. So, in other news. Hey, sweetie. Yeah? You got a phone call. Oh, I do? I wonder who that could be. Caller, you're on the air. Welcome to BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO.
Hello, love.
Oh, gee, your picture's so big, Queen.
Oh, that's right.
Just a sec, let me make this a little smaller. Well, hi, Queen of England.
Hello, Natasha. How are you, me guy?
Sweetie, it's the Queen of England.
Oh, hello, Queen.
Hello, NANABOOZHOO. What's up?
What's up?
Yeah, I want to talk like an American. Oh, I love to talk like an American. Yeah. You know what, Queen? I'm so sorry, but we're almost out of time. I don't think what can I do for you really quickly? We're almost out of time. Oh, I was wondering if I could teach you Ojibwe word of the day. Well, we were just, I think our word is, prayer day. Anima A, Geisha good. Anima A, Geisha good? That's prayer day, isn't it? That's right, it's prayer day. Oh, you gonna say a prayer, me love? Well, I was thinking about doing the Serenity Prayer for prayer day. Oh, why don't you do the Serenity Prayer then? Okay, I will. All right, love, I'll let you get on with it. Okay, thanks for calling in. Oh, that's right. Gigawabba man, Minawa. Yeah, that's great. Gigawabba man, Minawa, Queen. Huh, sounds like she's learning.
Yeah, the Queen's learning Ojibwe.
But yeah, before I go, here is somebody asked for the words to the Serenity Prayer and the translation. So I thought we'd just pull this up for everybody. Back in the days of the grandfathers, there were some Anishinaabe people who started to drink the firewater, huh, sweetie?
That's what I hear.
And they say before whiskey came to our people, there was what was those guys called? The Black Robes.
Oh, yeah, the Jesuits.
A Jesuit priest. I don't even know what a Jesuit is. But they came to the Anishinaabe in Wisconsin. They're like, oh, these guys are so peaceful. They get along so well. Nobody had ever heard of a murder taking place in the whole village. Ever. Then they found whiskey. Then the trouble started. And so some of us became alcoholics. We started drinking too much and we had to go to AA. But then at AA we learned a prayer. It was called the Serenity Prayer. So I'm just going to read this and translate it. And so if anybody's trying to learn this might be helpful. All right, the Serenity Prayer in Ojibwe. Gitchimanadu. Takawi dukawishan. Great Spirit, please help me. Wewe niji nanagudo endaman. Geodapanaman. To accept. It's like 20 syllables in Ojibwe and just 4 in English. Inu kikaski katosiwan. Chi anji satuyan. Those things that I cannot change. Chite apachite ayan. Chi anji satuyan. The power to change. Gegashki katuyan. Those things that I can. Chite apachi nabwakayan. And the wisdom. Nabwakayan. The wisdom. Chike naman ono. To know the difference. Accept me. To know the difference. Help me to accept those things I can change. The power to change those things I can't. And the wisdom to know that this is a Serenity Prayer. Huh, sweetie?
That's right, baby.
And so, if you're struggling or not struggling but just done with it, just want to wish you the best of luck. It's a spiritual battle to fight your addictions. It's a manchi manadu, huh, sweetie?
That's what they say. It's an evil spirit.
Mm-hmm. And, but then the final story of so the Jesuit priests went to the Ojibwe village. They're like, oh, never found a... They also would never, there was no curse word. They said, yeah, the Ojibways, they don't have swear words. And they never curse their God, which is the same God, but, you know, they never say, oh, get your money, dude, damn it. You know, that's not our way. We picked that stuff up in English. But, so yeah. And there you have it. Sweetie, I think that's all the time we have for today.
Yep. Did you want to send them out?
Yeah. We better get ready.
Yeah, I got to shave.
You don't even have any whiskers.
Okay, I got to brush my teeth.
You don't have any teeth.
I got to get ready for church. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Okay. Well, everybody, on behalf of everybody here at BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO, from NANABOOZHOO to Michael Lyons to Paul Stanley to David to Benjamin Mukwa Anamosh, that guy, I'm not sure if he's a beaver or a bear. Well, I just want to wish you the happiest Anima Eggisha good in the world. Happy prayer day, everybody, and hope you have a wonderful day. Gisa Kain, I love you. And me quetch Bizandawiyag. Thank you for listening. And me quetch Ganawabi egg. Thank you for watching. BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO. Baby. I am Natasha. This over here is NANABOOZHOO.
Okay, me quetch.
This over here is, what's your name?
Michael Lyons.
Michael Lyons, the rock star cartoonist. And, I will see you again. Gigawabamin. Minawa. Sweetie.
One to teleport.
See you tomorrow.
You got to say energize.
Oh, brother. Energize!